Hi, my name is Keith Nelson, and I'm really excited to be applying for the Backcountry Operations Supervisor position today. I am a 15-year commissioned BSA professional, and BSA High Adventure changed my life as a youth, and it's kind of been my calling and passion ever since. And I've taken that with me and done great things with it. I really want this job in particular because it would be a growth opportunity for me, moving from my previous role at Philmont as sort of the #2 in the backcountry and second season programs, and now stepping into the larger role of the #1 there. And also just the sense that I feel called towards a vacancy where I can be of great service. And in my current role as the director of Maine High Adventure, that's what sort of pursued me to move in that direction. Maine High Adventure was on the chopping block, and I came in. It was within a year of being discontinued, and I came in. And in my time there, we've done great things. We've achieved attendance records, revenue records, retail sales, marketing, committee members, donors. I mean, you name it. And things are going really good at Maine High Adventure, and it's been a really fun project. But so I feel compelled and called to areas where I can really make a positive change, and that includes currently at Philmont with the backcountry operations. And that's another reason why I feel pretty qualified for the position is my previous experience. I know that I can step in on day one and do the job essential functions very well. And as summer is approaching, it's March 18th. We have a few weeks before the summer starts, and so knowing that I can step in immediately and take care of any pre-summer objectives that have yet to be completed, and then go from there and try to improve the program following the summer and future years in these areas that maybe I observed in my last role, and now I can bring those to fruition with a greater level of responsibility. So I feel qualified based on my past experience, but then also sort of my proven track record of making improvements both at Philmont, but also Northern Tier and Maine High Adventure, with a sort of growth mindset and entrepreneurial spirit, focusing on the big rocks, the big objectives, the big picture. And just I'd love to go into all sorts of detail about past experience and future goals, but sort of a short list here. You know, program analysis at Philmont, looking at our high cost, high risk programs when I was there, starting with climbing and ATVs and mountain biking, and ensuring that we're running a safe program, and then also understanding the costs, and then the benefit from the cost, the return on investment. So made some really good improvements there. ACA NCAP documentation, Philmont had lost or didn't have any previous documentation. So coming in and doing that from scratch very quickly. The cost reduction. So buses and drivers at Philmont, I saw an opportunity for crews to hike out of base instead of taking buses. There's a lot of low-hanging cost reduction opportunities without reducing or perhaps even increasing the quality of the customer's experience. And so less utilization of the buses by having people walk out was one of those that I initiated last time I was there. You know, talking about finances, financial growth, not just cost reduction, but my past experience with making money and the second season programs in particular. So I came in, I saw opportunities to develop program that would bring in new customers. Like so I brought the Arrowhead Award to the second season programs, and sure enough, in my time there, we achieved year after year of financial growth and well exceeded all previous records for financial growth. One year we were 24% over all previous records. So huge growth in the off season, and I think we still have a lot of yet unrealized potential in the off season. So I'd like to have a hand in that in this new role as well. So another thing, staff hiring was huge for me. That's probably my greatest strength in my initial job at Northern Tier as their HR manager and talent manager. And so at Philmont, I made huge strides in my area of responsibility, including retention and hiring. I would process all my applicants prior to leaving for vacations, for example. And sure enough, before I left, I had 90% summer staff hired by February. And so that was pretty big based on Philmont's previous hiring practices. And because of that, I had higher quality staff, higher return rates, higher paperwork completion rates, and all sorts of trickle-down benefits. So lots of big impacts to my previous performance. And then finally, succession planning. We're not around forever. And so succession planning, both in the full-time ranks, but also in your seasonal ranks, we've seen in the industry just this higher turnover in staff. And so developing a plan for succession, I came in with no training manual, and I left by developing digital resources based on programs and camps um, with hundreds of data points and digitized paper forms organized very well into everything from uh, facilities and training and program and financial planning, your NCAP documentation. And not only did I gather those and organize them, but I also migrated them onto a online sharing cloud-based sharing system, so that not just for the full-time replacements and succession, as you hire camp directors, they also have immediate access to those resources. And so huge strides that I made previously, and also lots of goals for the future. And like I said, I might have to make some more videos to share more of that, but I do hope that we have more discussions of things, opportunities there. Now, some of my strengths and weaknesses, once I mentioned staff hiring, that's probably my largest strength. I feel very confident with that. In my tenure, I've hired well over 2,500 seasonal staff. I'm very confident and attuned, I think, to the staff members that are going to do well for us. And then understanding what it takes to get that retention and cultivation and communication and recognition, and understanding that those staff are also our future professionals. And so sort of growing them throughout the years, professionals, donors, the long-term game with staff, there's all sorts of benefits there. So staff is a strength. Program design, program assessment, analyzing the return on investments, looking for new and creative programs. And so I have a strength in looking at program flow. What are we doing well? What can we be doing better? The safety of the programs, the cost, and I developed some programs at Philmont that I'd love to tell you about, and ones that I'd love to do in the future. So program development is another strength of mine. Another top 3 strength would be teamwork. I'm a big team-oriented person, mission-driven, big picture. Together, we all achieve more. So not just me and my team, my direct reports, knowing that they're the ones that carry out the mission and trying to support them, but also my manager and our localized team, our objectives, and then our Philmont team as a whole, and our team as an organization. And so teamwork is big for me. I'm a people pleaser, so that we can all get along and together we can all achieve more. Streamlining our annual performance goals so that it's a win-win situation for all of us. Teamwork is just a big factor for me, not just in the workplace, but also in the community. And so helping others when they're in need, hoping that they'll do the same when you're in need. Now, a few of my weaknesses, we all have weaknesses. And for me, I'm an endurance athlete. I'm a marathon runner. And I think that draws me to this camping world. I love the idea of a summer season, and it's like a marathon. And so when there's an objective out there, when there's a finish line, I perform and I keep running and I keep moving forward until we get to that finish line. And then once you get to the finish line, you need a little recovery time. And so that's sort of my pattern. But what I need help from in a manager is just maybe checking in personally every once in a while to make sure that, every time you run, sometimes you run a race and you're fatigued and you might be approaching failure. And so a manager that's willing to check in with me every once in a while as we're trying to achieve these objectives and making sure that I'm doing all right. Blind spots, we all have blind spots because we're all human. And in a manager, I would be looking for help identifying those or providing feedback, timely, trustworthy feedback that's very just open and frank and down to earth and transparent, and both the critical feedback, but also the positive affirmations of things I'm doing well. Just quick feedback on that. And then another weakness, I guess you could say, is just that I'm very mission oriented, and so in my area of responsibility, I need to understand the why to be a good employee. And so so conversations and dialogue with the manager to address ideas and feedback and decisions, and potentially have conflict. Just having a dialogue and being able to put that against the sounding board of our mission and the big picture, and understanding the why behind our decisions, at least within my area of responsibility. Beyond that, as long as there's a mutual trust with the manager, I am really able to work with all sorts of different personalities and leadership styles. If you're a high D or a analyzer or authoritarian or a hands-off manager, that's no problem as long as we can have communication when needed, and I trust you. And so these sort of characteristics are where I need help from a manager, but also what I look for in direct reports and the sort of culture that I try to develop as a leader, because I need my direct reports to manage up just as much as I need a manager to manage down and help me out. And that's all part of being a team. So really, in closing, I would like to share a lot more, but this is just a brief overview of my excitement for the job, why I want it, why I feel qualified. And then as far as timing goes, I'm very prepared for Main High Adventure this summer, and have a succession plan in place. I can be at Philmont and start this new role immediately. I'm very I can move very quickly, and then finally, in conclusion, I just wanted to thank you guys for the work you're doing and exploring this option with me. I hope we continue the discussion. But if you feel like moving in a different direction is what's best for Philmont, I totally support that, and I support that decision. And just please ask that you let me know as soon as you know, one way or the other. Just let me know and keep me updated so that if Main High Adventure, we still have a lot of growth there. And if I need to refocus on that, that's awesome. But if Philmont is my next destination, that's awesome too. So once again, thank you guys, and I really hope that this works out for both of us.